Ay, nako. Get it out, get it out. Tawa na, okay. Hey, thank you so much for watching. This is Conversations with me, Ardy Abello. So why did we entitle this Conversations with me, Ardy Abello? Because most of us want conversations. Gusto natin magkwentuhan, whether over coffee, over a meal, over drinks. Kahit nga nagla-lunch tayo, yung 1 hour na lunch na yon, 1 hour break natin, talagang nagkekwentuhan pa tayo. Hindi tayo nag-update, pero nagkekwentuhan tayo. And when we have those conversations, we get to learn more about the person or learn something new for that time. That's why it's called Conversations with me, Ardy Abello. So what is the difference between communication and conversations? Communication normally is an exchange of ideas, exchange of information back and forth. That's why when parents say, I have communication or I have a conversation with my kids, think about it. Normally, they're just communicating with each other. Or many times when the boss or the leader has a conversation supposedly with their subordinate, with their manager, with their one-downs, it's really more of an update. What's happening with this project? Where are you now? How's this? How's that? That's not a conversation. That's merely communicating. You're communicating thoughts, you're communicating information, you're communicating ideas. And it's more of a catch-up. Conversations really talks more about how people feel towards certain things. That's meaningful. So if you would think about it, conversations is more of the heart, while communication is more of the head, where you introduce more ideas and give knowledge to other people. When you engage in meaningful conversations with people, you get to know about them. You get to know what they're going through. Sometimes their struggles, their challenges, or maybe their successes. And that's what we want to capture. We want to capture more conversations. We want to get to know more about our guests, have a conversation with them, and from there, we want to learn something new. Not just about the guest, but what we can apply to our lives. Because it's in these conversations that we get to pick up these nuggets of truth, these nuggets of wisdom that we can apply to our daily lives. Let's talk about the benefit of conversations. So the first benefit of having good conversations is it deepens the connection. John Maxwell wrote in his book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, which I've practiced for so many years. It's called the law of connection. The law of connection simply says, leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. So if you think about it, if you think about this law, it's not just knowing about people, it's knowing them. Before you can ask anyone to even work with or for you, don't get to know about them. That's the first step. Just know them on a deeper level. Knowing about people is very simple. You go on social media, you get to know about a person. You Google someone's name, you get to know about the person. But knowing them, it takes time and consistency. You make time to sit down with them and have a conversation. And also consistency. Consistency is the number or yung parati nating kinakausap yung tao para makilala natin sila. And when you get to know a person, it reveals 3 things. Number 1, it reveals what are their motivations, what keeps them going, why do they come to work. For example, you have people in your team, you lead a team in your company. Well, it's important for us to answer the question, what motivates them? Bakit para kanino sila bumabangon? What keeps them going every day? Sa paminsan sa hirap ng buhay, but people still keep going to work. They come to work, etc., etc. That's motivation. It's interesting when you take a look at the word motivation, you'll see 2 words. You'll see motive and action. Some people have all the right motive, but they don't have action. That's wishful thinking. Yung mga motive nila yung, sana marunong na ako mag-drive, sana marunong na ako mag-ganito, etc., etc. Pero pag tinanong mo, ano bang ginagawa mo para matuto ka mag-drive? Sana marunong ako mag-drive. Hindi mangyayari yon. Because if you have the right motive but no action, it's wishful thinking. Others, they have all action. They do so many things. When you look at their calendar, it's full. They pride themselves in being busy. But if you ask them, Why are you doing what you're doing? They don't know. They just know they're busy. If you have all action but no motive, guess what? That's a waste of time. To get truly motivated every day, you have to have the right motive and you also have to have the right action. Hindi pwede, one cannot exist without the other if you're talking about true motivation. The second thing that you will find out when you have conversations with people is values. Maganda sana yung pareho kayo ng pinaniniwalaan or pinaninindigan. And many companies, they talk about integrity. Parating meron yan, yung core value niyan, parating may integrity. Can you imagine if your team member or if you have that as a personal core value and at the same time, the company espouses living that core value of integrity? It's a perfect fit. I remember talking to a marketing manager. I had a conversation with him one time. Vice president for marketing. Sorry. He was a vice president for marketing of a huge food company. I won't say which company kasi hindi sila sponsor dito. Pag nag-sponsor, pwede ko na sabihin yung pangalan. But I was talking to the vice president of this huge food company. He was the marketing head and they brought in franchises from abroad. And so I was asking him, what are your criteria for bringing in a franchise? Sabi niya, naku, Ardy, that's so much. It's a whole checklist, finances, etc., marketing, operations, it's a whole laundry list. He said it's a whole laundry list of things that we need to check before we can finally say we're going to bring in that franchise. And even if I say the franchise, you'll know the company immediately, so I will not say it. And then he said, there's one box in that laundry list that we, the family, have to check. The others, the accounting can do it, auditors can do it, lawyers can do it. But there's one box that we, as a family, have to check. And I asked, what's that box? And he said, that's the box of values. And it caught my attention because, of course, you take a look at financial stability, promotion, etc. But why values? And he says, can you imagine a couple? And he asked me, he said, you're married. Sabi ko, yes, I'm married. And you believe in the same thing. You and your wife believe in the same thing. And I said, yes, we do. And in that conversation, he asked me also, do you fight? How many years have you been married? He asked me. I said, the time I was married for 25 years already. Sabi niya, do you still fight after 25 years? And I said, of course, we've had major arguments. And he said, can you imagine both of you agree on the same values? You have the same values, but you fight. And how do you resolve those arguments, those conflicts? You always go back to your values, right? And I said, yeah. He said, can you imagine if your husband and wife are in partnership with each other and they have different set of values? No conflict will be resolved. I said, makes sense. And he said, that's the same way when we talk about franchising. We have to have shared values, common values, so that if there's any conflict that happens between us, we can have a conversation and settle the conflict because we go back to our values. Interesting. The third thing that you will know when you have conversations and how you deepen that connection with people is purpose. Of course, that's another discussion altogether. But purpose is like a sense of being. I turned 40 when I learned about my purpose, or when I started to think about, why do I do what I do? Why am I happy with what I'm doing? Whether I get paid or not. Of course, it's important that I get paid, but even if I don't get paid, why am I still happy with what I'm doing? And that's because of purpose. Why do I exist? And so many times, we can't answer our purpose yet. I don't know of anyone who has written down their purpose. Companies do it, but individuals, not very many. But when you think about purpose, let's just put it at a basic level, which is meaningful work. That's purpose. When you go to work and you create meaningful work, which means you add value to other people in your organization. You add value to your company because of the kind of work that you do. MVP. That's how you turn typical team members or ordinary team members into most valuable players by having conversations and deepening that connection with them. How do you deepen the connection? 5 levels. The first level is acquaintance. Acquaintance is hi, hello. You just know that you belong to the same company, same organization, same church, and you see each other on a Sunday or you see each other in the elevator. You just say hi, hello. Nothing much going there. But when people start joining your team or you start working together, then you go to the next level, which is facts. Get to know about, that's what I'm talking about people. If you've been working with someone for quite a number of years, then you go to the third level, which is opinions. Opinions is you get to ask people, what do you think? And people always like to have that impression that they have been listened to, not just heard, listened to. Because hearing tells you that people are talking. But when you listen on the conversation, you will know what they're talking about. That's the difference between hearing and listening. That's why many times kids always say, "You're not listening." Because we don't take time to understand, ano ba ang sinasabi mo, anak? Because we just brush it off. Kung ano yung sinasabi nila, we just hear them. We don't listen to them. And it's the same way with people in our organizations. Many times we just hear them. We don't really listen to them. Have one-on-ones with them. Sit down with them. Then understand where they're coming from. Then you can ask people, so what do you think? What are your plans? That's level 3, opinions. You can ask that level 3. Level 4, however, is different. What a person thinks might not necessarily reflect how a person feels. That's level 4. I can have an intelligent opinion about something, but I can feel differently about the same situation. Many times, try to follow also your gut feeling. Or for women, it's intuition, the intuition. Because that is the part of your brain that says yes, or that's the part of your brain that says no. Unfortunately, though, that part of your brain does not have words. So sometimes you're talking to someone and you just say, there's something about this person that I feel right when talking to this person. Or it could be also, there's something about this person that when I'm having a conversation, they're kind of defensive or medyo guarded sila or they're very calculated in the kind of words that they're saying or what they're telling me. That's your gut. That's the right part of your brain, the feeling part that's saying there's something wrong. I just can't put my finger on it. The 5th level of connection is sensitivities. Now, this is for people who have been working together for a long, long period of time. Sensitivities, I'm willing to share with you what I went through, my challenges, what I'm going through. I'm willing to share with you certain things about myself that I may not be willing to share with someone else on the team or someone else in our amongst our friends. And when that happens, treasure that. Because that means that that person has entrusted this information or these things with you. To have good connections, you just talk about level 3, pangatlong level, opinions. If you reach that level with people, you're good. You have good connections. Because level 4 and 5, that has to be organic. Hindi mo pwedeng pilitin ang tao kung ayaw niyang ilabas kung ano yung nararamdaman niya. May level of confidence, and this is the second benefit of good connections or good conversations, trust. If a person begins to share with you how they really feel or certain things about themselves that they would not normally share with others, alam mo na may tiwala na yung tao sa iyo. At yan ang huwag natin babaliin. Do not cause mistrust, because when trust is given, that's the hardest thing to earn, but it's so easy to break. So when we have good conversations with people, the benefit is, number 1, it helps deepen the connection. Number two, it establishes trust because people are willing to share with you how they feel. People are willing to share with you their sensitivities and things that are going on in their life that they would not normally share with others. And the final benefit of having good conversations is you have a better appreciation now of the person, not just what they do, pero yung tao mismo. You now know that this person is more than just someone who is performing a task in my company. But this person is going through so many things, and hopefully as a leader, through those conversations, we can have solutions for them. You have an appreciation and a better understanding of the person that you're talking to. So that is why we have entitled this show Conversations with Ardy Abello. And this is the time where we want to get to know more about people deeply. Ano yung pinagdaanan nila, ano yung conversations natin with them, so that we can see also, many times kasi we see the success already eh. We don't see the backstory. We don't see the context. Hindi natin nakikita lahat ng pinagdaanan nila bago sila naging kung sino man sila. Right? So we want to be able to know that. And hopefully we can have built trust already with these guests of ours so that they can share with all of us what they went through and how they overcame these things and how they are now succeeding and what's up next for them. These are all the conversations that we want to have with them. And also it's a platform for learning because in this show, we really do want to add value to you, all our viewers, so that with all the negativity going around, we want to be able to be a channel and a show that adds value to people because you are the most appreciable asset in your organization, in your family, in your church. Ikaw, you will always appreciate, you will never depreciate. Everything that you use depreciates except you. You will always appreciate over time. So thank you so much for tuning in and eavesdropping in our conversations here at Conversations with Ardy Abello. Don't forget to click subscribe. So we hope to see you again next time here again on Conversations with me, Ardy Abello. Hello, everyone. Hey, hello. Welcome to Conversations with me, Ardy Abello.